What's up, Tiger Squad? Welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be showing you guys some tips and tricks that you can use when using B tools on dance mobs or on anything that has B tools. So you already know like the main keys, like what everything does, and if you don't, there's a video in the description that describes everything that I've done, and that pretty much just shows what each tool does, updated versions, and everything. So first, we will make these like blocks. I'll show you some tips and I'll talk about some things you can use for like different sets and scenarios. But first, if you're new here and haven't, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And if you aren't new here and haven't subscribed, make sure you like and subscribe also, or just subscribe. And so first, let's start. Usually, some people do is they like to like make a block. So I'll just use this as an example. I can make it really thin. Then I'll make a second block which is really thick. Duplicate. Then make a new block. Okay. So what some people like trying to do is like instead of just duplicating it like you just saw me do, some people would like to just make a new block, try and connect it, but half the time it's never even or it overlaps like a lot. And that can get really frustrating. So a way to fix that is you can like use any tool and pretty much just press duplicate, and you can either move it to the side, use the resize tool, whatever you need really, just to like get it working. You can also rotate it. That's a great thing to do. So I can just rotate it and move it up. With big bricks like this one, it's better to rotate than try and do the little thing with the resize tool. Resizing only really works for like the skinniest piece of it, like this. So that's kind of only really works. But another great, so that's pretty much what you want to do. And a great thing about it is if you also can't remember the exact color that you used, you can always just color a piece of it before. Use them to get the material together and everything. And then you can duplicate it like so. And you can move it to the side, up and down, wherever you're going to place it. But make sure it never lags. After you move to the side, sometimes you want it to like go down if they're not going to be the same color. So you want to make sure they don't lag, because if they lag, it looks like really bad. It looks like you don't know what you're doing, even if you do. And so that's pretty much a great thing to do. And so that's pretty much it for those. And another thing is, when it comes to like dirt and all that, if you want to be able to walk through it, just use the collision tool. You don't have to like try to make separate pieces, figuring it all out. Making separate pieces on a floor, you don't ever want to make separate pieces on a floor, especially when it's not necessary. All you really have to do is take a piece of any tool, not tool, but like a piece of any of the brick pieces you have, and all you have to really do is just duplicate. Like you don't even have to duplicate, you just have to expand it. I've seen a lot of people, like people who are new to building and everything, who try and like, you know, just like they make separate bricks for everything. So instead of doing like this, adding your material, like change the material to like wood planks and a random color. We'll go with black. Go with this nice gray. But instead of just changing to a random color like this, what they will do is sometimes they'll end up making a separate piece of floor. They won't even duplicate it. They'll just keep making other pieces of floor until it matches or whatever. Like they'll move it. Like they can figure that out. People can figure that out quickly. But don't do that. Just like expand the floor. Everything. And that's all you really have to do. Same with the walls. Don't try to make separate pieces for the walls. Just expand the wall to how you want it. You know what you're doing and you know what you want. You can like make certain pieces of walls. You can duplicate the walls to fit how you want it to fit. That kind of thing. And another thing is, when making, like, if you're doing a room or something, make sure you know, like, how, like, the sizes are. And with this, if I wanted a wall, quick and easy, without having to make a separate block and having it all look weird, I could also just duplicate it. And sometimes you forget it's, like, not duplicated, so you just have to go back, press the duplicate tool. You can scoot it back if you don't want your walls really thick. You can like size it up to however high you want it. Then you can scoot it back, or you can scoot it back first. Either way, most of the time it will work if you know what you're doing. So it's kind of supposed to it kind of looks like this. You can change materials, obviously, since it's not going to lag or anything. So I can put smooth plastic and put like a nice blue wall. And so that's pretty much it. And that's kind of like the tool thing you want to know about building. And so now let's some tips for new builders. If you're new to building, don't really take on something really big yet. More likely what you want to try and do is go and try and like experiment by yourself. Don't go on a server where they're looking for professional builders or experienced builders to build for you, because I will let you know now. People like professional builders and builders like me, they hate it. We really do, like, we don't really like it at all. When there are new builders who come into a server saying that they are like a professional builder, but then when we have to build, it's kind of, they don't know what they're doing and they're asking questions every 5 minutes. If you don't know what you're doing, just say you don't know what you're doing and like let the other people build. Don't really just kind of take over anything. Don't try and it's okay to ask questions, but don't like lie and say that you know what you're doing when you don't, because it will honestly annoy people, especially if you complain a lot. And you can't, and like they don't care about the excuse, or don't care if you feel a certain way. They won't care. You say, "Well, I just thought it would be fun," because honestly, building, it's like actually very serious to builders. Some people are like doing it for fun. They don't care if they're good or bad at it. But other people's like they like doing it because it's like something they're good at, you know. So it's kind of like make sure that you know what you're doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, it kind of just fails altogether, and it's just really upsetting because it's kind of like we want this to be good, but when you have a new builder who doesn't know what they're doing, they're trying to move like their piece, but they don't know what they're doing, so they're moving it and it just messes up. That's what you don't want to happen. You don't want that to happen at all. Just kind of experiment in your own server. You can watch tutorials. Like I have tutorials. I have a tutorial. It'll also be in the description. You can look for that. You can there are these mesh. If you want to learn how to do meshes and learn how to do it all at once, mesh codes and everything like for a school, there are mesh codes in the description I can give you. Comment down below if you want a mesh code and I can find it for you. That's all you really have to do. You don't have to do much if you're looking for something, because like if you don't know how to build, just say so and like try and help. Find a friend that knows how, or somebody that will teach you how to build. There are also tutorials, so you don't have to worry. But another thing is, if you're trying to build a school, something I advise is use like what you want to do is use, if you can, use mesh codes. Like I said, there are chair mesh codes in the description. If you need more mesh codes, like there's a video on where you can find those. Like there's a bunch of like building videos I made and everything. And because like when I was trying to learn how to build, something that really bothered me was how a lot of other builders, like a lot of people, they did tutorials, but the tutorials, like you couldn't hear them at all. They were like super quiet, talking in a soft voice. And I get it, like people are shy and everything. That's okay if you're shy, but it's like it wasn't really helpful to me because I needed to know like what to do. I wanted to figure things out, but nobody ever had a tutorial that I could clearly follow or show me how to get what the things that I need. So I kind of had to learn myself. I had to teach myself these things because nobody really gave, like when they did a tutorial, they didn't give clear instructions. They just whispered, made the video 10 minutes long, like for watch time, but I could never hear them. So it's like it wasn't really worth it me watching the rest if I couldn't even hear the first part, because it's like I wanted to know what they were saying. I wanted to know all these things, but I couldn't. So that's why I'm doing these tutorials, just because I know what it was like when I was trying to find like how to do this or how to do that. And people will always say watch a tutorial. Like I see new builders not knowing how to do something and they say watch a tutorial. But the thing is, I would already know there was not a tutorial that they would be able to watch, mainly because nobody would ever make a tutorial clear enough to where like they could hear them. They could see everything. They could like see, okay, this is the process. This is what you need to do. So that's what I'm kind of trying to achieve here. I don't want it to be like, oh, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. They're not going to help me. Because I actually have a building school, but I can't really do much with it. I can rank people. I can teach people. But if people don't really want to know how to build, I can't help them or do anything about it. But it's kind of just like that type of thing. And another thing, so with schools, if you're going to do a school like everybody else with like the basic path stuff, you want to follow the trend that I have in the public servers of like, oh, a Clover High School in honor of St. Patrick's Day or whatever, or they have the ad. What you want to do is you need to make sure you're like in a server. Like if there are other builders better than you, don't try and claim that you're better than them. Just work on your work, because it's honestly not a competition at all. The only people that are making a competition is either them or you. So make sure it's always them trying to make a competition and not you, or else it seems like you're threatened by their skills. So you have to resort to like little competitions and being rude to like show your superiority or whatever. But that's pretty much like something for a high school. Another thing for high school, you always want to remember this. For a high school, never, and I mean never, I promise you this, don't try and use this, like, don't use neon colors. Neon colors look so horrible in a, like, high school theme. Like, I know people love neon colors for everything, but if it's not a vibrant type of theme you're going for, even vibrant, you don't want to use neon colors. Like, you can get your tinted lights, neon and everything, but don't, like, go and make all the walls neon. Like, I know it's, like, not original at all, but pastels just genuinely look better. It's not that people are, like, trying to just follow the trend or, like, want to be popular on Roblox or the game or anything. It's that they genuinely looks better. It's nothing more than that, except it looks better, and I don't want it to, like, look bad. Like, some people probably think, oh, you're only doing this because it looks nicer. It's not like a trend like a famous YouTuber does, so they all decide they want to do it. It's a type of thing where it's like pastels genuinely look better when you're building, because other times they don't look. Pastels, you can't just not do pastels. You can't do soft colors, because soft colors make the place look good, while really vibrant colors make it look like you don't know what you're doing and you're just, like, experimenting with colors. Especially when the colors clash, you have a whole classroom that's, like, blue or a whole classroom that's, like, pink. Like, have a variety. But if you're going to do a shade of blue, do the same shade of blue for a lot of things. Don't try and do different shades of blue. Think it looks fun or anything, because I promise you it does not look fun. It looks so weird and looks gross. And I don't mean, like, gross, like, ew, whatever. It just looks so weird. The gross type of weird. So, that's pretty much it. And another thing with high schools and family RPs is all the same thing. Know what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, it's just going to, it's going to fall back on you. People will recognize that. And it shows you probably only going to the server just that way. You could, like, get it roll quicker. But really, what you need to do is, you need to work and everything. You have to work hard. And you don't, like I said before, duplicating. You have to make sure you're duplicating things to make sure your colors don't clash. Make sure, like, you have to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, always go, like, look on YouTube for help. Like, that's all you have to do. All you really have to do. And so, kind of another thing is, just type what you're trying to type. Don't try and talk when you're building a lot. Build regularly, and that kind of just works. And that's pretty much it for I have tips. I will be doing tutorials on, like, different things on how to build different things, all those type of greatness. So make sure you stay tuned to my channel for that. And if you guys like this video and want to see more, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on special notifications.